Caesar arriving in Egypt and discovering Pompey is dead. The Chernobyl disaster. Hiring party yes men to build and run nuclear reactors as cheaply as possible is bad. Nuclear energy is bad. This ancient writer's account is clearly biased and unrealistic. He's the only source we have. Historians of ancient history. Cupbearers in movies. Taste my food cupbearer. No, what if it's poisoned? Cupbearers in reality. Taste my food cupbearer. Oh my god, oh my god. This is the greatest honor. Killing the monarch in a public execution. Killing the monarch in a private location, so it doesn't look bad. Keeping the monarch alive, seizing all his wealth and property, and giving him an ordinary job. The Portuguese delegate, on his way to claim all of Africa at the Berlin Conference. When at any point of history, he says he owns land. Today I will go fishing in the North Sea. Clueless. Would you look at that? The Russian Baltic Fleet. What are they doing all the way out here? 1907 Dogger Bank incident. The war to end all wars, when the Second World War walks in. Marie Antoinette in movies. Let them eat cake. Marie Antoinette in reality. Funds home for unwed mothers, and buys grain for those in need. Also decadent like most monarchs. Come to the trenches, we have. Silly string. Party wagons. Fun puzzles. Spicy air. Thomas Jefferson trying to negotiate the Louisiana Purchase from the French in 1803. I have $3. The world powers waiting to officiate the armistice until 11 AM on 11th of 11th. Just because it sounded cool. Letting thousands die in the morning leading up to it. We did it, Patrick. We ended war forever. Jesters in fiction. Please stop making fun of me. I only wish to be freed from this living nightmare. Jesters in reality. I'm fed, clothed, well paid. I can insult the king without consequences, and I'm in some cases among his most important advisors. Other countries. We declare independence. No, you can't do that. Nepal in 1788. Please become independent. No. Stop giving me your toughest battles. It is literally your job. Give me harder battles. What the frick? British-French rivalry. We are the most iconic rivals in history. Yes. Dutch sea rivalry. Did again that moment when your country used to be one of the strongest, biggest and most influential empire in the entire history of the world, only to turn into a nation that just exists. What's that? We are from the future. Whoa. No way. This is so cool. Huh. Learning about the Soviet War Memorial in Berlin. Finding out how the locals call it. Countries that didn't declare war on birds. Countries that declared war on birds and lost. Countries that declared war on birds and won. Kowalski analysis. Austria. No, how can you ally with the Ottomans? They are enemies of Europe. France. Lonian hat is magnificent. He thought building Rome would only take one day. He mad. Sons of the king learning about his death. Greece. Turkey. Very nice history. Religious. European. Funny name. Big empire. Cyprus. Hey, you're 18. You get to go on a great adventure. You're going with all your friends. It's the Great War. Did you know? George Washington never smiled for pictures because the camera hadn't been invented yet. Chinese emperors when the function has liquid mercury. Irish Republicans thinking about the best idea for a present for the upcoming visit of Margaret Thatcher. A bomb. George Washington after the US became a two-party system. The last snip of the 100,000 French troops being evacuated from Dunkirk. The first ship of those 100,000 French troops being repatriated straight back to France. Make peace with the USA. Early history according to modern society. Early history according to Proto-Indo-Europeans. Ancient Rome haters, when they realize it wasn't a brutal imperialist slave state, but was actually just guys with cool armor and big marble buildings. I get it now. 30,000 Americans fleeing to Canada to avoid fighting in Vietnam. 30,000 Canadians going to the US to fight in Vietnam. I'm so glad I can be part of this war. I sure hope we'll be back for Christmas. 4 years later. Please free me from this living nightmare. Cuba must be blocked from world trade until they replace communism with democracy. We are opening up trade with communist China, which will surely turn them into a capitalist democracy. When you are a French vassal, but you own more France than France does, do you feel in charge? When your daughter wants to be treated like a princess and she finds out she's being married off to the heir to the Belgian throne. They don't know this poster is actually satire. South Carolina, 1961. It's a miracle you survived the plane crash, so where are the nukes? Flight crew. Austria. Georgia. Some other country got infamous for atrocities committed by a man born in their country. Just to prove the point that historians can debate on anything, here's a bucket. When the English call you godless, but they only have one god and you have a dozen. Some poor Soviet kid in 1985 who has eaten nothing but potatoes and bread in his life tasting Coca-Cola for the first time. Napoleon declaring he'd make Tsar Alexander I of Russia his mistress if Alexander was a woman. Empress Josephine. Society, skirts, and dresses aren't manly, those are girl clothes. Me and the boys. London. Athens. I sure do love my job in the Senate of Brazil. During the 4th of December of 1963, I hope nothing uncharacteristic happens on my last day as an alternate senator. Oh look, Senator Anand Mlo is about to make a speech. I wonder what he's going to talk about. Dr. Leonid Rogozov realizing he needs an appendectomy, but there aren't any other surgeons within 1,000 plus miles. Shame. Americans dumps 50 boxes of tea into the Boston Harbor. Crab at the bottom. Internet weirdos trying to convince people that Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette are tragic figures that deserve sympathy. People who know that they petitioned the Holy Roman Empire to invade France to keep them in power. Trade offer. I receive nothing, haha. Don't worry about it. You receive a big wooden horse. Chinese emperors uniting China. Kazakhstan in 12th December 1991. I'm not an USSR Skylar, I'm the USSR. Augustus making the same joke about asparagus for the 70th time. Augustus's entire family. 2017. What's that? We are from the future. No way. This is so cool. Huh. Receives the German Iron Cross. Not long later receives the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire. Refuses to elaborate. POV. Your friend returned from pilgrimage. Stalin is highly suspicious of doctors. Persecutes them. Stalin has stroke. No doctors are available to help. Stalin. Call yourself a great power. Think you can take more of everyone's stuff. Build big armies and navy to match that. Cannot even conquer Belgium during the entire duration of Great War. Promise you won't cry, I promise. Laker probably died scared and confused while overheating in Sputnik 2. I won't cry. The entire world to France during the Dreyfus affair. Why did you do this? I'd expect this sort of behavior from Russia, but from you? Abrahamic religion with alcohol 37 kilometers away. Abrahamic religion, no alcohol, half a kilometer away. Kievan Rus. Allah created equal in the image of God. Outlaw all slavery on European soil. People start practicing slavery outside of Europe. Hey, I told you. What happened in 1989? Me, history fan, reading about anything that happened before 1750. Virgin European invaders. No, you can't invade Russia in winter. Chad Mongol invader. Invade in winter and use frozen rivers as roads. Wellington beating Napoleon at Waterloo. Napoleon leaving all his money to Wellington's assassinator. William the Conqueror in 1087 be like? I freaking love centralization. I want to freaking consolidate South America into centralized superstates with a strong executive branch and limited regional governance. Early Cold War focus and mentality. Asia, Europe. The Confederacy starting one of the most destructive wars in human history over a completely antiquated system of agricultural production. Nikola Tesla's life be like? Burn through savings on a project. Project fail or is stolen. Burn through savings on a project. Project fail or is stolen. Burn through savings on a project. The first time you look into the past of companies created before the 1940s, why the F are so many of them war profiteers? American men in the 1960s, when they don't want to die in some jungle in Asia. I'm gay. Tigris River, Euphrates River, Mesopotamia. Mussolini trying to escape Italy after plastering his face literally everywhere for 17 years. Fun fact, JFK was just John Kennedy before he died. The F was added to pay respects. When people say Thanos is bad, because he wanted to eliminate everyone and begin all over again. Medieval knight on the march in fiction. Maybe we should stop and protect the women and children from bandits. Medieval knight on the march in reality. Sack the village, gather all the food and the young women. Electricity consumption in Europe in 1507. Napoleon was an idiot. Here's how I would beaten the coalition. On America. Pay your tea taxes. No, by the way, we are going independent. On the Congo Kingdom. Oops, my hat fell off. Well, you know what this means. Tax time. Yes, sir. The British Empire trying to decide which country to invade and colonize next. We have to judge their actions in the context of the time period. My brother in Christ, contemporary sources were critical of them. Actually, the Egyptian pyramids weren't built by slaves. They were erected by thousands of paid laborers and trained engineers who were given places to stay and food to eat. Doge then. I govern Venice. Doge now. I'm a meme. Arab soldier. So we left a little mountain range unconquered to the north. Arab general. So what? That's populated by 200 people at most. What's the worst that can happen?